Okay, so good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. We are so glad to have you here with us, and I want to especially thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join today's session and diving into what's brought us here. That is from insight to action. How the 2024 State of the ITSM Report can transform your IT strategy. Just so it's one thing to have data, and it is entirely a different thing to turn that data into something actionable, into something that we can actually implement. And that is why we are here today. That is the goal of today's session. We will be exploring the key takeaways from the global ITSM reports, and that is how employee experience takes center stage and is now an IT mandate, how these impact the IT teams and them being on the front line of the digital employee experience, how smart automation is shaping modern service desks. Like that is something wowing. How to automate the right tasks to free your team so that they can focus on high impact work, and amongst others, which will be broken down into strategies that, as I said earlier, you can apply to improve how you deliver IT services. So before we move forward, speaking to you today is Queen Odili. I'm the Product Marketing Associate here at Ha-Shem Limited, where I lead marketing efforts around IT services, and I'm your host for today. So I'm sure the question has popped into your mind. I'm sure you've thought about it, like who are we? What do we do at Ha-Shem Limited? And to answer that question, Ha-Shem Limited has spent the last 21 years building and offering solutions that are simply customer centered. That is you. We are all about you. It has been a journey of growth, purpose, and commitment since then to offer integrity and trust in our solutions, which we have shown over the years. And at Ha-Shem, what we believe most is that tech should be meaningful and it should meet you exactly where you need it to help you move forward. And that belief has led us to our partnership with SolarWinds, which has brought us, which began all the way in 2011. Sorry, that's 2011. So we have actually worked together to make sure that businesses have the IT tools that we don't just, it's not as if we're just getting it to tick boxes, no, but they solve actual problems. And SolarWinds give organizations like yours the power to streamline service delivery, improve your infrastructure visibility, automate where it matters, and more importantly, scale service management even beyond the IT department. And that is why speaking to you today is Lauren Okru and Raj Pandya. So, just to tell you a bit about Lauren, she is a marketer who is passionate about making IT tools simpler and more effective to just help teams reduce friction in how they work so they can work more efficiently. She also loves helping businesses build stronger connections, more memorable brand through strategic storytelling content. And also we have Raj, someone who truly understands the in and out of ITSM and network monitoring. So if you just want to think, oh, who can tell me more about network monitoring and ITSM? Raj is your go-to guy. And with over a decade of experience, it's just all about translating technical capabilities into that value that has helped organization drive business growth. So just get ready to learn from this expert that have hands-on experience and insight. So please, before I hand over to Lauren, just kindly mute your mic to avoid noise and disruption during the session. Use your chat box if you have questions or comments during the session. It will be attended to immediately. Also, kindly stay engaged, please, because we need your engagement. There will be polls sent and we would love you to answer them. So also the question and answer session will follow after the demo. So you will have the option of unmuting your mics to ask the question, or if you just prefer typing, you can type your questions in the chat box and it will be answered. It will be answered appropriately. So those that want to unmute their mic, please just kindly press the raise up hand button, and you'll be picked according how your hands are showing on the screen. Also, the session is recorded, and after the session, you will get an email with the recording sent to you. Lastly, please make sure to have a good and stable network for the best experience. At this point, I'm going to be handing over to Lauren to continue the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Queen. What an introduction. That was amazing. I hope I have the energy to follow yours. I'm so excited to speak with everyone today. Just a quick reminder, but I don't think we need it. From insight to action. It's exactly what Queen said, right? We want to help you understand the data that we received from our ITSM report, but we also want to turn that into things that you can bring back to your teams, things that you can do to help improve or refine your processes. So let's get started. Here's the agenda for myself and Raj today. We're going to talk about the 4 key findings. There are many, many more, but let's boil it down to just 4. See what's top of mind for IT leaders across different industries. We're going to talk about what these trends mean. So, we've noticed some patterns in the data, some things that are telling us a story. What is that story? What can we talk about that we're understanding from the data? Then we're going to talk about how SolarWinds can help respond to these trends. What are these benchmarks telling us, and what can we do about it? And then Raj is going to do a demo to show us in action how we can make some adjustments to improve our service management setup. Okay, so what is the State of ITSM report? Give me a heart if you've read it. If not, that's an amazing place to start. I'd love to know if this is new to many people, because that's exciting. That means we have, undiscovered territory. Oh, lovely. We got a couple hearts there. That's good. But, for those who haven't read it yet, I'm so excited for you to get the chance to understand, what IT professionals around the globe are experiencing. We love a benchmark, right? We love to know what's happening for our peers. We want to know great, Ernest. I'm here for you. You're new to this? No problem. That is the best place to start. It can only be growth from here. So, we want to understand what other people are doing. Are they having the same challenges that I am? If so, how can I learn from the solutions that they've experienced? That's what benchmarks and these State of ITSM reports are all about. So the focus areas of the report were the employee experience, as Queen said. It is really the heart and soul of service management. We want to ensure that either the agents or the IT managers, but also, the other employees in our companies are having good experiences. They're able to get resolutions when they need them. They're able to find answers when they need them. That is really what employee experience means in this regard. We're also going to focus on AI and automation adoption. We know that people are doing more with less, so they really need these additional helps to help them get through the task and keep the business online. We're going to talk about visibility across tools and systems. What does that look like? What does good visibility bring to IT? And what maybe challenges does bad visibility promote as well? And then let's talk about cross-functional service delivery. We want to know, across different teams, is service management applicable in HR? Can service management principles be applied to the facilities team? Hint, yes, but we're going to talk about that more later. So the 2024 edition reflects evolving expectations in modern workplaces, growing pressure on IT, not to just be a cost center or to resolve tickets, but to really drive growth. Okay, so let's carry on. So here are some key takeaways from the report. First, as we already talked about, employee experience takes center stage. You can see by this first stat how important employee experience is for ITSM success. 54% of IT leaders say employee experience is their top priority. Why do we think that is? In my opinion, I feel like the service management team is really the bridge between all of the employees and the ability to get their work done. So they really need the right experience, the best experience, so that they can continue to do the work that they need to do. So it's no longer just about resolving tickets. It's making sure that their entire journey is fast, intuitive, and frictionless. What that might look like in reality is if I'm an employee and I'm having a problem connecting to the Wi-Fi, or I'm having a problem printing something, what is my experience finding an answer? Do I know exactly where to go? Are there answers that are served to me before I submit a ticket? This is all part of my journey in getting resolutions. There's a growing emphasis on experience level agreements, not just service level agreements. So one example of that might be, a self-serve knowledge base. Do we have the knowledge base articles built so that more people are able to find the answers for themselves rather than submitting tickets where a regular SLA might come in? And then internal IT teams are being measured not just on speed, but on the quality of their service. So as we grow into a more consumer-based world, if I purchase something from an online company and I have an issue, I submit a customer service ticket, in this e-commerce world, I'm expecting a pretty quick answer to resolve that. Those sort of experiences are bleeding into our work life. I have that experience, in my personal life, but I have that expectation that I'm bringing into my work life. I expect high quality, conversations, and that is something that internal teams are really being measured on nowadays, not just speed, but also, was I provided with the right answer early on? So these are things that we need to consider as we look at our own teams and start to optimize how we're doing IT. Okay, so how do all these things that we talk about impact our IT teams? Where in employee experience are we feeling the impact? So as I've just said, expectations are rising. They want fast, easy, and transparent solutions. Your service portal, so where your employees go to submit their tickets, is now the digital front door to IT. Your employees need an easy location to go to find answers, to submit tickets, to have conversations. It is truly a front door. So teams, how do we approach this? Teams must really focus on self-service design. This is a major part of the report, talking about self-service. We need to ensure that if an employee wants answers and it's a one of the simpler or more automated solutions, that we are giving them the knowledge, the articles that they need to go sort that for themselves. Really allow them to self-serve their own answers. We want to eliminate unnecessary steps, so dynamic forms is a great example of this. Let's be sure that we're asking, the questions that we need to ask, but in a dynamic form, we can only ask what we need to and expand upon those that we need more information. So, removing the back and forth really lowers the frustration of everyone involved. And then personalizing the support experience. Small things like, remembering, and this can be served in the software, remembering someone may have had this issue before really helps people feel seen and improves the quality of that experience. So, what does success look like? I've just noted a few things here. Fewer escalations that take longer to triage or longer to resolve. Higher employee satisfaction, which we can measure through different surveys, and then less time on repetitive tickets. We really want to look and see that our teams are only spending time on things that are new or maybe not resolved yet. We want to be sure that we can automate those things that we are repeating. Okay, our second key takeaway, AI and automation are essential. As we talked about in the beginning, teams are doing more with less. So here's another stat for you. 39% of teams already use AI for tasks like ticket classification and routing. That's a very large number of teams, but we're only going to see that go up. We can see that essentials like AI and automation truly help remove that friction that we're talking about for IT teams. It can reduce workload and improve consistency. But, improving consistency and accuracy is a paramount part of automation, but human context is still key. Let's not get too excited and think, that everything can be completely automated. Actually, SolarWinds AI by design, one of our main principles is keeping a human in the loop, because we need to add that personalization, but we also need to ensure that everything that we're doing is how we want to proceed as a team. So human context, or understanding real world anecdotes or application is still key to automation. So that leads into, it's not about removing people from the process. That's not the goal. The goal is actually just to remove the manual repetitive work. So, if John is an IT agent and he spends 70% of his day doing repeat tickets, tickets that he's resolving for employee A, employee B, employee C. John's essentially doing the same thing over and over again. What automation can help do is say, okay, I see that you've done this for a similar ticket in the past. Let's apply the same solution. And now John is doing more, but actually working less. He has more time to dig in and say, I've noticed, these other things, and proactively resolve things rather than doing more manual and repetitive work, fixing the printer over and over and over again. He can automate those processes so that he can start to focus on things that might, enhance growth, bigger projects that might be more strategic for the business rather than, just firefighting on day-to-day things. And that can also, let's think about John doing repeat work every day. That can really help with his burnout. He's not feeling bored in his work. He's not feeling like, oh man, I just come in and I fix the printer. He's feeling like he's contributing to a broader organizational goal, which, makes everyone feel more valued and really decreases the level of burnout, really gives everyone the challenge that they're looking for, and that manual work can be removed, which is what really brings the morale down. Okay, so how does AI and automation impact IT teams? So we can start by automating routine and rules-based tasks, or insert automation into self-service answers. So simply categorizing, prioritizing using automation is a great start to speed up how things are resolved. If we have urgent tickets, then we can put those at the top of the list. And we can also classify them into the right groups, meaning they're going to the people who know how to resolve them more quickly and with more accuracy. All of these things help streamline our entire IT process. Um, Inserting automation into self-service answers. We do this in Service Desk, and I would say Raj will show you a little bit later. When someone is starting to submit a ticket, we use AI or automation to serve an article that they may not have seen as they're submitting that ticket. That helps deflect more tickets, so that agents aren't always having to resolve the same things, but it's also good for the employee because they're getting the answer they need. So all of these things mean faster resolution times and reduced backlog and many fewer errors. So if people aren't working to try and get on top of all of their workload, then there are much fewer errors, we hope. So what is the result of this? Your team can spend more time on complex issues and continuous improvement. As we said, John is no longer fixing the printer over and over, so he's starting to dig into some things that can really help strategically enhance the IT structure within the business. Okay, our third point, visibility. So what do we mean by visibility, just before I go into that? How well do we understand, how things are operating within our IT system? That's really what visibility means. Do we have metrics to understand how quickly things are getting resolved? Do we have configuration CMDB to show which pieces of our IT infrastructure are dependent upon each other? This is a couple of examples of visibility. So 1 in 4 teams say that limited visibility is a major barrier to improving ITSM maturity. 100% can really slow down a group. And let's think about that logically. So if we don't know where our bottlenecks are, if we don't know which pieces of our IT infrastructure are constantly breaking or slowing things down, that's a hard way to move forward to optimize. You can't optimize what you don't understand. So sometimes we see that visibility gaps can lead to redundant tools and licenses. Maybe we're using tools and licenses that we're not using them, but we own them. We're paying for them. They're part of our ecosystem, and actually we don't need them anymore, but a lack of visibility doesn't show us that. Longer resolution times. If we don't see that we're having the same problems over and over again, that this specific part of the business is leading to a lot of tickets, then we can't find the root cause to then resolve and decrease those resolution times. And then there can be increased risk during change management. So one example of that is, if we are gonna put out a change process, but we don't know how our IT infrastructure is connected, what servers are dependent on, or what assets are dependent on different servers and different things, then that is an increased risk of things breaking as we roll out that change. And that can be a lot of time, a lot of headache for IT teams. So, with clear visibility into assets, configurations, service relationships, IT can operate proactively and not reactively. They can operate in a more functional way, in a way that doesn't see unexpected issues arise, that then, take more time, include more tickets, these sorts of things. So, where does visibility matter? We've touched on some of these. Um, Incident management, knowing which assets are affected and who else is impacted. Change control, we can understand configuration dependencies before approving updates, ensuring that we've thought about this change from an entire ecosystem and not just the one piece of the puzzle. Asset lifecycle, we talked about this. So staying ahead of renewals, upgrades, and shadow IT. There's nothing worse than you come and sign in for work one day and someone didn't know the renewal was up, didn't do the procurement process properly, and you don't have access to a tool or a software. That's really what we want to avoid with better visibility. And then reporting. So not just showing business value with real data, that's what I've said. That is important. I think we do need to relay how uh, service management really keeps the business online, which is quantifiable in an amount of money. But we also want to be able to report on, where we've optimized, where we've streamlined the business to show that things are running more smoothly and everyone is able to continue to do the work that they need to do. Okay, and a couple minutes left for my last point. So, ITSM can expand beyond IT. It's not just for IT. Our service management tool, our service desk is not just for the IT department. And actually, this is something that we find, when we have conversations, people don't always know that. Here's a great stat. So 53% of teams use their ITSM platform to support other business functions. So what that looks like without setting up a proper enterprise service management system is that maybe they've created a group or a category team for HR. That works for them, but we in Service Desk have ESM. So that what that means is that you can set up an entire service provider for your HR team to, manage requests, to resolve any tickets that come in, to onboard people in a streamlined way. So as you can see here, HR, facilities, legal, finance, even more, marketing even, all need service management workflows and they can benefit from the structure implemented from IT. So where is that an important piece for the IT puzzle? You can really become the champion, the hero, the architect of digital service delivery across the business. So, here's one use case example. HR gets quite a few requests. Maybe someone needs a reference letter to show that they are employed there. If you have a service management provider for the HR team and you can send your employees to the same service portal that you send them to IT to log an HR ticket, Now the HR team has a structured tool, a structured way to field those requests, to assign them to the appropriate team members, and they have better visibility over what kind of requests they're getting. Also, the employee has a structured tracking of where's my request, who's managing it, and they have something to reference to go back when they have that resolution. So it's not just IT that can benefit from service management workflows. It's many, many departments. HR is just one example, but there are lots of different ways that teams can benefit, not just IT teams. So what ESM means, one point of entry for users of multiple departments. We use this ourselves at SolarWinds. I have one link, one page that I need to go to, whether I have a IT request, whether I have an HR request, whether I have a facilities request. And I know that if there's something that I need, I'd go to this one page and submit my ticket. It's incredibly simple. You can use your ITSM platform to extend value. There's a few examples there. What this does for the company, though, is it enables consistency, accountability, and a better experience across departments. So, auditing and logs are an important piece of any department, and being able to contain all of the information um, in different service providers. You can set up users for your separate service providers that have access only to those. But to be able to store that information, to have consistency in the way you function is an incredible experience, but also very compliant in the way that you need to be. And then it is pretty simple to create those service catalogs and automated workflows for each team. It's not a huge overhaul. I always suggest people start with one new one and then continue to add. Okay, so turning insight into action. Let's just kind of regroup on what we've talked about here. So better experiences. We want a customizable service portal, knowledge base, and that's going to equal faster answers for all of our employees. AI and automation, how do we action that? We can streamline triage approvals and repetitive tasks. Visibility will keep asset management, CMDB, and 360 reporting all of our metrics in one place. And then ESM, that's scalable for any team with configurable workflows. So these are all the key takeaways from the report, and just some real life examples of what we can do within our own service management systems, what changes we can make, what things do we need to start thinking about implementing for ourselves based on what we feel is important in the world of IT, important in the world of, our peers and other service management teams. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Raj, who's going to do a quick demo, maybe 15, 20 minutes or so, to show you how some of the things that we've talked about look in SolarWinds Service Desk. So over to you, Raj.
Yeah, thanks, Lauren. And those were some insightful information. Now, let me just share my screen and we can go through all of the things live. Perfect. I hope all of you guys are able to see my screen. So on the screen right now, I have the end user portal available, wherein you can see that as soon as any of your end user logs in, they can have such a main dashboard available. On this dashboard, we have a branding capabilities available. So if you want to put down your logo, your favicon, if you want to change a header color, if you want to put down your brand image or any of the wording, that can be done into the end user portal. On top of that, from this portal, for your better user experience, you will have a new ticket creation form wherein you can have such a template wherein you can put down all of your issue related information. So that way your issues can be submitted. And secondly, as per the ITL, whenever something is broken, something need to be fixed, you will go with a ticket approach. But let's suppose now you want to create a service or you want some sort of services from your IT team, from your HR team. So for that, you will have a service catalog available wherein you can get to see all the different kind of services which your organization is providing. And one of the benefits you can get out of all of this service catalog is in the back of this catalog, you can have a fully automated workflows available. So as Lauren said, like you need a fully automated approval process. You need to do a collaboration between a different department. So all those things, it can be combined in a workflow, which can be attached with any of the catalog item which you can create. Plus, all of the form which are available in the platform, they are fully customizable. So without doing any coding, without needing any sort of help from us, simply from GUI, all those customization can be done by you guys easily. So these all things can be available into any of the solution. But what benefit your end user can get from SolarWind is we have AI capabilities available into the end user portal. So now you introduce this portal to your user and they are not sure like from where to create a ticket, how to find a knowledge article, how to get a service catalog. Simply what they can do is they can go to this search bar. And right now also like if you go to any of the shopping site, you can simply put down keyword and on the base of that, you can have a suggestions available. So same way, if I put down any of the word, like if my G Suite is not syncing, I simply put down a keyword and tool can tell me like for this, we do have an article available. So I can directly navigate to that article. I can get to see all of the videos, any of the wording, any of the hyperlink, which has been put down by my IT team. So with the help of that, what IT team can achieve is, let's suppose on a 5 to 3 months report, you get to know like your user, they have so many number of dial pad related issues available. So you can simply create such an article for them. They can search for all of these articles from the end user portal and they can easily resolve all the issues on their own. So that way your technician or IT team, they do not have any unnecessary tickets available for them. Same time, this smart suggestion, it can also offer them and find a service catalog for them. And if nothing is relevant and still your user, they try to create an incident, again here, you will have a pop-up available, which can tell them like for this, we have a services available or we have article available. So in the platform, anytime when you see this honeycomb icon, it represents that AI from the tool, it is giving you a suggestion which can be helpful for your end user. So that way they can rely on any of the catalog, any of the article, and directly rather than creating a ticket, they have a much more options available. At the same time, into end user portal, we have a virtual agent also available. So rather than directly doing conversation with the technician or wasting their time, your end user, they can get all sort of help from the virtual agent, whether it comes to creating a ticket, finding a knowledge article, or accessing a service catalog. All those help can be available from virtual agent. And if still your end user, they need a help from a technician, the same virtual agent, it can be converted into chatbot also. So that way you can have a conversation with the technician and you can resolve all of your issues. Yeah, so these are the thing we talk on the perspective of IT. But as per the report which Lauren showed, we have ESN capability also available. So let's suppose you want to do a digitalization into all of your other department. Like currently you have IT specific portal available and all of the other department like a facilities, finance and HR, they also need such a tool where they can better do all of the ticket management. They want to do a work order management. So for that, you can have a ESM approach available, wherein from the same tenant, you can have a multiple service provider available, wherein we offer you a data segregation. Let's suppose any of the person who is a technician into IT service provider, he will be a requester into facilities and a finance. And simple way you can manage all of your user. And if I open any of the particular portal, I can see look and feel totally different than the previous one. So now this is my IT portal wherein I can get to see all of the IT related stuff. Like if I talk about creating a new ticket and wherein I can see all of the categories, subcategories specific to IT. When I navigate to any of the service catalog or to any of the knowledge article, they will be specific to IT department only. But now as soon as I jump on and as an end user, if I need help from the HR, so when I go to the human resources template, you can see the look and feel is totally different than the IT portal. And herein the HR team is the one who can do all of this modification and customization easily from GUI. And then again, when I go to new ticket, you can see that the categories and subcategories, they are specific to HR and they are the one who can customize all of the thing. And same way, the service menu, all of the knowledge base article, they will be specific to HR only. Yeah, so that way from the end user point of view, you can have a ESM approach available and the uh, which can help all of your different department to log a ticket into the platform. Now, if I talk about the technician side, so how and which way tool can helpful for your technician. So through any of the ways once ticket is created, the technician, they can have full access to all of the tickets from the incident page. But on top of that, anytime if you need to leverage a module, like you have a need for a problem or a change management, that will be available in this solution. And today's webinar, we're not going to focus more on the problem and changes. We'll mainly focus on the automation and AI and how it can help your technician to resolve all of the ticket in lesser amount of time, and how we can help you to get a faster mean time to resolution. So now, as soon as any of the ticket will get created, you will have an incident tab available wherein you can get to see all the ticket related information. Post that, in the tool, we have a very powerful automation mechanism available wherein on the base of tickets information, like the wording of a ticket, the category and a subcategory of a ticket, we can automatically assign a ticket to a particular technician. On top of that, we have a robust SLA mechanism available, wherein on the base of tickets category, tickets priority, we can automatically bind SLA rule to a ticket. So suppose that whenever, let's suppose you need a response level SLAs and you need a resolution level SLAs. So whenever those SLAs are breached, you can have automated actions available. So all those automation capabilities are available, which can help to resolve all of this ticket in a lesser amount of time. But now let's suppose as a technician, once I start working on a ticket, what kind of help I can get from a solution. So let me just drill into one of the ticket, like as I've created this G Suite dial pad is not syncing. When I drill into that issue, I can get to see all the information about the ticket. Like I can get to see like which user has created ticket. I can check their profile. So I can get to see all of the asset which has been assigned to them. I can get insight into all of the previous ticket which has been created by the user. So by gaining all of this historical information, I can get to see like, does this user, he is getting such a dial pad issues oftenly or not? And on top of that, post that with the help of a smart suggestion, we can also check like, do we have any such an incident available from any of the other user or not? So simply from the platform, you can have all of this insight available. And what else you can do from this smart suggestion is you can simply click on the attach symbol over here, and this ticket, it will get related over here. So that way you can add all of the ticket which are related. You can do a parent child kind of relationship map over here. So when you do a work on a particular parent ticket, all of the changes will be reflected into all of the related incident. Like if I want to put down any of the comment to all of the ticket, like we are still working on it, or you want to provide any of the update. So rather than going to those 10 to 15 tickets separately, you can put down a comment over here and that can be copy pasted into all of the related incident. Same way, when you close a parent ticket, you will have option to resolve all of the ticket which has been related over here. So this is the one way you can work on a bulk on a ticket, and wherein the smart suggestion will be helpful for you to getting insight into all of the related ticket. Post that, you can have a smart solution available. So from all of the knowledge articles which are available, tool can automatically find out like which article can be useful over here to resolve this issue. Yeah, so these are the all some of the AML stuff which we have in the platform. Post that, to solve all of this ticket in a faster way, we have a generative AI feature also available. So all of this yellow icon, the honeycomb, which represents the smart suggestion, same way, we have this yellow icons available, which represents all of the help from the generative AI. So as soon as any ticket will get created, your technician, if they want to provide any sort of first level response, generally right now, many of the organization, what they will be doing is they will be having a readily available template wherein they can feed all of the template and they will be feeding all the information over here. But with the help of Gen AI, what you can do is the Gen AI, it will gather all the information of a ticket, like its subject, its title, previously what kind of response has been given. And then it will prepare automatically response over here for you, which will be again modifiable. So your technician, they can modify it, they can twerk it as per their requirement, and then they can give a first level response back to your end user. So simply with the one click, you can have a response available for a ticket. Post that, from the tool itself, the solution will check all of the previous ticket and all of the previous solution, and it can prepare an article over here for you, which can be used to resolve this issue. So that way, like rather than going to any of the other third-party tool like ChatGPT or any of the OpenAI solution and searching on internet for a solution, you can have a legitimate solution available from all of the previous article and all of the previous incident which has been used in your platform. Yeah, so these are the two kind of help which will be available from Smart Suggestion. Further, we have a Smart Summary available. Let me just jump onto one of the ticket wherein we have a couple of comments available, so I can show you like what kind of insight it can give to you. Yeah, so like I have this one of the ticket where I have 9 comments, and now I have assigned this ticket to one of the L2 engineer. So as soon as that tier 2 guy comes into ticket, man, he will, if you need to get insight onto ticket like what has been happen over here, so you can easily check like the subject and this description of a ticket, but post that to get a more insight he need to drill down to check like what are the all other things which has been happen into ticket. So rather than doing and going through all of these 9 to 10 comments, what I can do is I can simply hit on a generate a summary, so which can give me the insight like what has been happen into ticket so far. So then directly I can gauge the idea, like these are the thing which has been happened, and then I can directly start working on this ticket. Yeah, so this way, this smart suggestions and the AI capability, it can help to resolve all of these issues in a lesser amount of time. Post that as it is mainly focused on the automation part. In the tool, we have I've seen it like with many of the customer, and they found it very beneficial. We call it as a run book. You can call it as a standard operating procedure. So let's suppose the your approval process and everything, it can be attached or it can be bind with your change management and the service management. But let's suppose you need same processes and workflows for your incident management also. So rather than changing your incident into service catalog or creating a separate task, what you can do is you can create a workflow for your incident. So let's suppose this is the one of the ticket on which I'm working, and now I need to do escalation to a higher team member. So my manager, he found like anytime such a way we need to do escalation to a higher team, we need to go through our manager, and our manager, he was getting so many pushbacks from the higher team, like your L1 team, they are not providing a proper information to us. If you need to do such an escalation, you need to provide much more insight. So rather than my manager, they need to go through all this thing. What he did is he created one SOP over here, which we can bind with the ticket whenever we want to do such an escalation. So wherein he has clearly given us the guideline, like these are the all first level troubleshooting step needs to be done by us. Once all of these things are done, we need to identify the issue. We need to capture much more information. Once all of these things are captured, then we'll go to our manager for approval to do the escalation. Once it has been approved by manager, then and then this ticket, it can be get escalated to a tier 2 team member. So this is just one example, and I'm giving this example on the base of the IT team. In your case, let's suppose HR team, they want to use this run book. And for an example, one of the employee, they are not behaving properly, and one of the colleague, they have created a ticket and issue has been raised, and HR not sure like how to deal with such a scenarios. So they can document all of this run book. So anytime such a issue occurs, they can simply add a run book, and they can have a clear idea available like what are the next step needs to be performed by them. Yeah, so that's it on the side of the automation and the Gen AI feature, which can help to resolve all of the ticket. Post that as a part of a report we gone through a CMDB and how it can be helpful for you guys whenever it comes to the risk analysis and doing the prioritization of a ticket. So we have a automated ways available to add all of your asset into the platform. And once asset discovery is done, then you can showcase a relationship between each and every configuration item which has been added into platform. Like this is one of the Dell machine I have, wherein I have captured all of this information automatically. When I've done the discovery, like I can get to see all of the software which has been installed on the computer. I can get insight into all of the hardware component. I can manage the whole life cycle of my asset. But on top of that, as we have the configuration management database available, I can showcase like what are the all other asset which has been related with this particular computer. So once I have that insight available, post that whenever any ticket has been created for this asset, or let's suppose I want to perform any of the change management. So before making the change, I want to check like what are the all other devices which will be affected if I make any change to this computer. So I can simply open a visual map and wherein I can have the clear insight available. Like with this computer, we have all of these other devices which are affected. And among them, I can clearly see that like I have one of the MongoDB database which has been installed onto this computer. And with that database, I have a couple of business services which are running on it. So if this device is not working properly, I need to prioritize it to resolve any of the issue which has been occurred on this machine. And if I'm making any of the change, I need to make sure like all of these devices will be affected. So that way I can have the risk assessment also available. Yeah, so this covers the four key takeaways which we have taken from the report which has been shared by Lauren. Yeah, over to you, Queen.
Okay. Thank you very much, Raj. Thank you for this wonderful session. Thank you, Lauren, also for your presentation. And with this demo that Raj has shown us, we have seen a lot that SolarWinds, ITSM, the service decks, the amount of depth we are able to get into our infrastructure, the insight, and it is very, very amazing. With this session, I've been able to like learn a bit more about ITSM, AI, and automation, and I've been able to understand better the ITSM report, the state of the report, what it means for us. So just so we are all on the same page, I'll be highlighting some key points we have learned today. So we've learned that with the use of AI and automations, a lot of companies are able to meet SLAs, and that has shown over 11% increase. That is so amazing. And we also learned that we saw that with our teams what they need to focus on to be in the front line of the digital employee experience, and that is just self-service design and them cutting off unnecessary steps that is not needed, that is repetition in our tasks that is not needed. We need to eliminate it with service decks. We're able to eliminate that, and personalizing the support experience. So we now know that 39% of teams already use AI for ticket routing and classification, and that has helped teams to scale supports high, like scale support in a good way without it burning out our teams or our employees. And we don't need to actually employ more hands for us to be able to do tasks and be productive. No, so we also learned that with automation, you now get faster resolution times. You're not able to reduce backlogs. You have fewer errors, and this has given your team time to spend more time solving complex issues instead of just doing things that does not really matter. So that brings like continuous improvement and more productivity. We saw that ITSM now expand beyond IT. It now supports other business function, and Lauren mentioned it. We have the HR, facilities, legal, and finance. So it allowed them benefit from service management workflows and the IT structure. And all this that has been said, the goal is just to remove the repetition in our work, in our day-to-day tasks. And we have seen how to do that using SolarWinds ITSM service deck. So that is a lot we've got to understand. That is a lot we have going on for us, and it is revealed from the state of the ITSM report. So with all that outlined, I'm sure now we are on the same page. So you can now kindly ask your questions, raise up your hands in the you can just raise up your hands and they will be answered by Raj and Lauren. So I think yeah, so I'll be unmuting. So let me see how many people have their hands raised. So you can also use the chat to ask. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. If you don't want to talk, you can use the chat to mention. So Mr. Ibiam, yes.
All right. Thank you, Raj. I just want to ask a quick one. The IT SM actually is all about service management. I want to know, what about network monitoring? Because in service management and network monitoring, like in my organization, it works hand in hand. So for proactive monitoring, can equally be deployed? Thank you. I hope you got my question.
Yeah, all good. Raj, do you mind speaking to the connection between monitoring and service management?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and for that, we have a monitoring portfolio, which is a SolarWinds hybrid cloud observability and a SolarWinds SaaS-based product. So with both of the platform, we have a tight integration available. So in that context, like if you are monitoring any of your network devices, any of your applications, server, or if you're doing any of the log monitoring, you can have a alert creation available. And out of those alerts, you can directly have a ticket creation available into service desk platform. So whenever any of your node goes down, it breaches any of the threshold. Here, such a way with all of the attribute information, you can have a ticket created into the platform. And then with the help of automation rule, it can get assigned to your technician. And that way we can help you to get your mean time to resolution and mean time to detection faster way.
Okay.
All
Thank
right,
you
thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
I hope that answered your question, Mr. Ibiam.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So the next person that I saw your hand raised is Mr. Friday. I'll be omitting your mic now. Mr. Friday, you can.
Yes, please. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Okay, so thanks for the demo. However, I dropped the chat before. You said you didn't say anything about the asset management. How does SolarWinds help in asset management? Is there like an agent that is going to be installed on all of the devices that we help to generate information or logs about the devices, their current status or software that are installed? So I just wanted to know if SolarWinds is able to do something like that.
Yeah, I can answer that today. Yeah, so on that part, we have a lot of options available. One of them is like we have our own a discovery mechanism available, wherein with the agent-based approach, we can do those device discovery. And secondly, we have a lot of third-party integration available. Like if you have an Intune, SCCM, Jamf, we can do integration with those third-party platform to bring all of the devices into the platform. And if you have any of the vCenter or if you have any of the services on AWS, Azure, we can communicate with those platforms and devices can be added into platform also. And this is only on the part of the IT side. Secondly, from the non-IT point of view, if any of your finance or let's suppose from the facilities, they want to add any of the non-IT asset into platform, they can manually add them. And with the CSV import, they can add all of such a asset in a bulk into platform also.
Okay.
I hope
Thank
this
you very
answers your
much.
question.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have Mr. Lucky. Please kindly unmute to ask your question. I saw your hand raised.
Oh, thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I wanted to actually ask, as a developer, actually, you want to integrate a portal, like an academic portal, the ITSM, with SolarWinds. Like, is it something that can be done? Like, based on what I saw, like an AI chatbot kind of, which is what I kind of seen as a connection. But when I saw the demonstration, I saw that it was like a standalone web application that probably all agents will have to be. So I want just to know, is there a way where an existing system is already existing? Is there a way that developers can integrate with SolarWinds? That's just a question I want to get an answer to.
Yeah, Lakeisha. Yeah. So on that side, like we have quite a lot of integration available out of the box. If from the development point of view, I'd say we have integration with Jira. So wherein all of this ticket information, it can be forwarded to Jira. And apart from that, if you're looking into doing any other integration, we have our APIs available publicly. So by using those APIs, if you want to do integration with any third-party platform, that can be done easily.
Okay, thank you very much, Raj.
Yeah.
Mr. Lucky, hope that answers your question.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. Okay, we have another question in chat. It says, can we create workflows for groups other than HR, finance, or legal? Is there a limit to this workflow? Right,
No,
that's the question. Okay.
yeah. No, there is no such a limitation on the workflows. Like if you go with a different ESM approach into each and every service provider, you can create a separate workflows on top of that. When you create a workflow specific to one of the service under which if you want to do a collaboration, like some of the tasks you want to assign to HR, some tasks you want to assign to finance or a legal, such a way you can do a collaboration between all of the department, and all of them they can have a separate task available into one single ticket. So yeah, all those such a way the workflow creation can be done in the platform.
Okay. Thank you very much, Raj. I hope that answers your question. Okay, we have another question in the chat box. How does SolarWinds ITSM integrate with existing tools and systems? And what are the benefits of integrations?
Yeah. Yeah, so on the integration part, it is very easy. On the UI, you can also see like we have a directly integration part available wherein you just need to copy and paste the APIs and your integration will be done. Once this integration is done with observability self-hosted, as I showed earlier, like you can have automatic ticket creation available, wherein you can get a much more insight from all of the nodes which are down. Secondly, on the integration part, you can do integration with the asset management. So wherein all of the devices which you are managing on the self-hosted observability side, they can be automatically captured over here. And post that on the NPM module, the topologies which you guys have created, from those topologies, you can have such a way this visual map which will be created automatically for you. So the topology which you have on the Orion side or on the self-hosted observability side, that will be visible into service desk platform also. And post that whenever any ticket will get created, automatically those asset will get bind with the ticket. And then you can, with the help of this visual map, you can get much more insight also.
Okay. Thank you very much, Raj. I hope that answers your question, Mr. Eni. We have another question. This seems so how does SolarWinds helps in a company and does it make it easy?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
So he's asking how SolarWinds helps a company and how does it make it them to operate in a company? How easy does it make it for them to operate?
So I can take this one, Raj, and I think maybe
Yeah.
this is a more general question.
Yeah.
So and you can let me know, Ernest, if this is what you're after. You know, we see a lot of different organizations manage their IT support in different ways. Sometimes that's, you know, just via email, sometimes that's by chat. And what SolarWinds, specifically SolarWinds Service Desk, does in a company is it centralizes all of those requests. It makes sure that, you know, there are people, the right people assigned to resolve those requests. And also it layers on different, you know, different tools like automation to ensure that those, you know, those issues or challenges or requests people bring to the IT team can be resolved in the simplest way possible. So that's really the goal of SolarWinds Service Desk within a company. I think people that use, you know, just ad hoc systems like email or chat or phone, who then move into using something like Service Desk, they really feel the benefits of having, you know, a central portal for employees to log their tickets and also a place that IT support can depend on for answers, for, you know, structure and how they resolve tickets. So, um, you know, against different competitors, SolarWinds is often known for being easy to set up and easy to make changes to. That's really, as we build our ITSM solution, that's really what we want. We want to reduce the friction and make sure that the work that people need to do is as simple as possible. I hope that kind of answers your question, Ernest.
Okay. Okay, we have another question. Thank you very much, Mr. Ernest. From Madam Stella, can ITSM be integrated to SAP a kind of handshake.
Yeah, yeah, it can be done through APIs. And recently, with one of the customer, we did such an integration to pull all of the user which has been added into SAP to directly get all those information into service desk also. So yeah, any kind of such a API with integration, it can be done.
Okay. Hope that answered your question, Madam Stella. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Do we have any more questions? Okay. No more questions. Thank you, Raj, for answering the questions. Thank you, Lauren, for your input also, and bringing more clarity to today's session. I hope this insights will we'll be able to get to implement them in our businesses, and that is all for today. But as some of you may know, let me just kindly give me a few seconds to share my screen. Yeah, so as some of you might know, we have a development and training part of our ecosystem, and that is Ha-Shem Academy. So Ha-Shem Academy is a training institute for tech and non-tech fields. So if you're looking to upskill, you want to get into tech, you want to get certifications like ITIL, CompTIA, Service Desk, and so on, Ha-Shem Academy is the place to start. And to learn more, you can send an email to training@hashem.com. So also, if you want to explore SolarWinds ITSM more, you have questions for us, you want to get to understand better, you can send an email to marketing@hashem.com. We'll reply to you fast. And also, please, if you want to check us out, our website, who we are, what we do to understand us better, you can visit our website at www.hashem.com. And if you feel, oh, I want to see them physically, you want to visit us, you can come to number 9 Ibikunle Street, Habat Macaulay Way, Yaba, Lagos, Nigeria. And also, please kindly follow our social media platform at Ha-Shem Limited on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, and on LinkedIn. So this brings today's session to a close and to an end. Thank you everyone for joining today's session. Thank you, Raj and Lauren, for your input and for making us understand SolarWinds Service Desk better and how we're able to just cut repetitive tasks and do more in our organizations. Thank you all for joining today's session. Have a lovely day, everyone. Bye.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Queen.